I want to fix the whole front end again. Like, I want it to be fully white. Let's paint the support. Okay, so why I'm so harped on about the bumper support rust is because a lot of GC8s and GF8 bumper supports actually rust out. A lot of owners don't realize this is something I've just learned recently, because no one really looks under their bumper support, or you don't really just pay attention to it as much, but they all end up rusting and creating holes, which can eventually lead to sagging, and it just doesn't look good. So this is why I'm so harped on about my front end. I'm just trying to refresh what is rusted, and trying to bring it back to life. I'm pretty much restoring the whole front end, and also trying to make it look like my old GF8 while the paint looks absolutely crisp. So if you have a GC or a GF8, I would definitely go and check your bumper support, because those things rust like crazy. Even here where there's no snow, it still rusts like crazy, because my original factory one that I had on there that was cut for the front mount and stuff is absolutely rooted. It's gone. As you guys can see, it's really rusty, really shitty. That's why I ended up getting the new one, and that is why I have coated it with CRC rust convert, so it's just never going to rust ever again, hopefully, if that product stands by what it says. So yeah, that's why I wanted to focus this very detailed speech to you guys, or whatever information to you guys, that I don't want that happening again, so I'm fixing it now. Forgot to film the part where I just grinded off all the rust and stuff, so I'm just going to go rust convert it before I primer it. So all the rust that is developing, well, it was all surface, but I just like to spray this stuff on pretty much all metal, because it will stop any rust ever developing. So yeah, I need a new one of these cans, but this is still quite full, so let's go spray it. So this is the old bumper support here. As I'm creating the filler shots, I just noticed that this has like structural integrity. I don't know if this is just like a STI thing. Like up here, you can see there's two little braces put in place, because I guess that was, and it doesn't flex as much, whereas the new one that I have does not have that at all. So I am a bit curious why that it's like that. Well, I don't think anyone would know. I don't know if it's a STI thing or what it is, but yeah, this has these inserts which are quite strong actually. So I don't know if I should get like the spot welds taken off and get it put onto the new one, because the new one does not have it at all. And this one doesn't flex as much. Like, yeah, it's rusty as shit, but like it doesn't cause it to flex or anything, because the supports are quite strong. So that is interesting, because the new one does not have that. Everything else is exactly identical except for those bits, those support bits. So obviously I want the extra support rigidity, so I've taken the spot welds off the STI ones, because this is the factory STI ones. So I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to get them spot welded in. So yeah, it's literally just a spot weld right here and one right here, and then you just bend it out. So hopefully we can get this one out as well. I've already drilled them out, and I'm going to pop them off. So on the new one, I've just grinded off the paint here, because I actually want the rigidity. So obviously you guys saw that I spot welded them off, and I've actually grinded off the paint as I said, and same on here as well, so we can quickly get them spot welded in place. I'm going to hammer these down right now, so I'm going to just like show you guys quickly what it's going to look like. It's going to look something like that. It's obviously not seated properly. I'm going to get it seated properly, and then once it's snug in there, I'm going to get a mate here locally that's going to quickly give me 4 spot welds, and it will be in there just like factory, and it will not flex whatsoever. So it'll be exactly like the STi one that I had. So here's kind of like a side-by-side comparison. The top one is the original, you guys can see, and this is the bottom one. Obviously I stole the brackets, and you can see like this one here, it kind of bulges out. You can see at the bottom right there and right there, they bulge out, whereas this one doesn't. It doesn't even have the holes. But everything else is exactly the same. Nothing else is different. Only the back part there is a little bit different. But it doesn't matter. I can drill those holes in corresponding to here. Even though they don't bulge out, I can just put it in the center if I needed to. These holes here are the clip holes for the bumper anyway, so I don't think it is necessary to have those holes. I'm not too sure what those holes do, but if it's needed, I can always just measure and put on to the new one. It just won't have the bulges, but that's the only difference, and these things need to be welded in. So yeah, that's the only difference by the looks of it. Okay, it's the next day. My turbo fell off, and so the welder guy is going to weld the supports in today in the afternoon, but it's the morning. And this is what I hate. As you guys saw, it's really windy here in Wellington, and I'm so close to everyone. Like, I can hear dogs barking and shit. This is what I don't miss about Wellington at all. I wish I could have stayed up where I was, but yeah. I just did another take, and I just lost absolute confidence because there was people here. I'll try to put it in the blooper reel or something at the end of the video. Let me know if you guys want to see some bloopers, because I've got so many bloopers, man. But anyway, today's the next day, and yeah, this is a great reason why I don't want to live in the city anymore, because it's so windy, as you guys saw, and the weather's always crap out here, and the houses are so close by. Dogs are always barking, like in my first take, and yeah. So the welder guy's gonna get to me in the afternoon at like 4:30. It's like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 9:40 in the morning. So yeah, we can't really do anything with the supports, so we're gonna get busy on the roof, because the roof needs attention. It has surface rust on it, which I'm gonna grind off and rust convert, and then, you know, get a paint and try blend it in with the rest of the roof. But other than that, it's not much to do today, and it's just a shit day. It's gloomy, it's windy, and our mate up north is literally diving on a beautiful sunny day up there, and that's where I used to live. So that's really annoying. Oh man, I wish I could go back. So yeah, I'm trying to work hard to go back and not live in the city anymore, because I really don't enjoy the city whatsoever. So yeah, I guess we get busy with the roof. So I took this piece off. There was a piece here, and there was holes in here, which is really bad actually, and I bogged the hole, which is not a good idea. So I'm going to try to get the bog out and put metal putty in there instead, which pretty much is metal. And it has like slight things like this, which is just surface. All of this stuff is surface, but there's so many spots of it. So I'm thinking like whether to just get the whole roof painted, or try and, like, you know, touch it up with, you know, grind that off, rust convert it, and then do a little touch up paint. Obviously I want to like sand it to the point where the clear coat's gone and it's just base coat or even primer, and then I can just spray like feather in clear coat on top and then try buffing it, you know. So yeah, it's something to really think about, because I don't know. Like, I guess I can rust convert it, because it's gonna get worse otherwise. Like, look at this one. I bloody twinked over it, so that's not a good idea. And then there's one up here, which is not very great looking. So yeah, I need to get busy and fix all of this shit before I get a hole right through my roof. You can see that's where our rust spot used to actually be, and it nearly just started pitting through the roof, so I've just caught it in the nick of time. So I'm gonna rust convert those pits. All the rust is taken off, it's just pitted. It actually hasn't gone right through at all. So here's one here. This one was one of the worst ones. Yeah, that was one of the worst ones, and you can see there's quite a bit of pitting on it. So luckily it didn't go right through at all. It's just all surface, and I can obviously rust convert those and stop it in its tracks. So the stuff is pretty good, because if we come and look at the new bar that I neutralized yesterday with it, that's what it looked like beforehand, and now this is what it looks like. You cannot see any orange brown flakes on here. Like at all. There's none. It's all been neutralized. That means it will not rust ever again. Obviously I still need to do this, but I'm going to get that once it's welded and then rust convert over it. But there's literally like none of those colors anymore like it is on there. So I ended up pulling the car outside. The amount of holes there is on the roof is insane, but it all has been grounded back to metal and rust converted. We'll go have a quick look. You can see there it's got about a dozen holes. Not right through, obviously, meaning like I've just grounded it down and taken it off. Those are all from chips, rock chips from years ago. Well, that was kind of a fail, because his welder is obviously gasless. It just runs off power only, and it just couldn't get, cold enough, because it would melt through the metal. That's why we took the practice piece where we could actually test to see if it would melt through. Yeah, it did melt it through, so we put it in the lower setting and it just wouldn't hold. So one side is kind of holding, but I think it'll just pop off if I put a screwdriver underneath it. So the best thing to do would be probably put JB Weld on it and call it a day. Yeah, JB Weld actually will be a lot stronger than the tack welds he did, because it's not his fault. It's just because we don't have gas and that's not the right stuff to use. So I'm probably going to search where the cheapest JB Weld is, obviously the proper brand, and go get some. Alright, so I just got done epoxying it. This thing stinks so bad, but apparently this thing does not crack or, it turns really hard like a weld, and it's in there. This one is in there really good. This one was flopping about, but it apparently sits in an hour, but I'm going to just leave it overnight to fully cure, and we'll come tomorrow and we'll try and move it with this thing and see if it goes anywhere. It's a huge ass screwdriver. So yeah, that will be the test tomorrow. But yeah, I'm glad that this is in there now. I am a bit bummed, because it's kind of pushed me back. I could have had this painted by now if I could have just done this step myself. But I thought, let's give welding a go. But this is going to be as strong as spot welds from factory anyway. This stuff can hold up diffs and shit apparently. Onion did that. If you know who Onion is, then good on you. If you don't, then I can't be bothered explaining. But anyway, we'll leave this overnight and come back tomorrow, do the holes tomorrow. Hopefully if it's nice weather. I'll also drill the holes as well tomorrow. It's just gloomy as out there. Can't be arsed today. It's just wasted my time. Okay, it's actually a very hot and muggy day today. So as you guys know, it's the second day. Oh well, this is actually the third day now, because I haven't really come back to this. The epoxy on these have literally set really well. So I'm going to wax and grease remover this, and it's ready for primer. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm just thinking how to hang it. Probably going to hang it off the rafters here. Today is going to be a double whammy episode, which you guys won't be able to see in this episode, but it'll come out in the next episode, because a special person is coming to put these in for me, because I fell over twice, injured my back, so I can't really do that. Yeah, that's going in. So watch out for the episode. It'll be coming out soon. So there it is, hanging off the rafters. I'm just going to wax and grease remover it, get all my oily hand, whatever oils off it so it doesn't react, and then start painting. I'm So last time you guys saw me, I was spray painting the support bar, but obviously my mate came and we lowered the vehicle. You can see a little bit of it there, but we won't show too much. Anyway, the front support's done. I couldn't film much because we were using the camera to film the other episode. I do have 2 cameras, but we just couldn't be bothered. So we did the support. It's already been long enough, the episode. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks really good. I put the intercooler back on it, the bumper fits, everything fits, and on the roof thing that I started has turned into a much bigger thing because there was rusts on the inside. I'm just trying to be in the garage while I explain this because it's too windy out there. So there's 2 holes just over there and 2 holes at the back, and water has been leaking through there and has rusted the inside. Luckily it hasn't penetrated anything. I'll go show you. So there you can see it has become a much bigger job. I've taken the whole headliner out, and yeah, you can see I have repaired some spots there. They were rusted. I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, you can see it looks quite horrible, and it was brown, and I was quite scared, but after repairing it and rust converting it, I realized that there's actually no penetration. It was just surface, but it has made it scaly, but I've made that stop, and I'm going to make sure that no more water comes through those 2 bolt holes for the roof rails. You can kind of see those 2 bolts there. I've put rubber washers on the top so no water can come in, and it's watertight. So what happened was water used to come through those bolt holes and it will go all along that black seam and it would rust it. So now I've repaired it, and I'm gonna wait until this rust convert goes. I mean, it has gone black, but I'm gonna wait till it cures, and I'm gonna do another coat just to be safe. And then on top of that, I'm gonna put some fish oil because that's what I've been told by a professional to do. So yeah, it's turned into a much bigger job, this. But it needs to be done before. I'm lucky I actually kind of caught it in time before it spread any worse. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. I've been actually restoring the roof rails that look quite glossy. I've done all this off camera, so I haven't filmed anything. Sorry for all the long explanations. It's just really hot. Sometimes it's windy, sometimes it's raining, so it's hard to film. But I am doing all this stuff. That's why it's hard to constantly upload these videos, because I've got other stuff to do as well, obviously. Another roof rail's hanging over there. But yeah, you can see there's a bit of mess. It's hard to work on a little garage. There goes my rust converter. Hold on, it just rolled away. You can see it's quite a bit of mess back here. I'm trying to do as much as I can. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. This is so weird. I can touch the ground.